Welcome to the Marketing Made Great podcast. In each episode, we'll be sharing with you the tips, tricks, and techniques from the top sales and marketing experts from around the globe that will make marketing simple for your business. Here's your host, Mark Traeger.
In part 2 of my conversation with Caroline Dunn, we get into more of the how-to and practical applications of voice for your brand and using voice in your everyday marketing strategy. It's also too interesting to me how maybe this whole thing got started by one simple voice command: how do I cook an egg? So here's the rest of my conversation with Caroline Dunn. All right, Caroline, we've been talking about the marketing side of this, and it's all great. There's a lot of great stuff that you shared with our audience. So let's go to the practical side. How do I begin, or where should I start to develop this? And you mentioned this thing called Alexa Skill. Why don't we start there? Why don't you tell us what that's all about?
Okay, excellent. So Alexa Skill. Okay, so last time I kind of introed this, but I want to give it full, gust today, which is when I saw the App Store for the first time on iPhone. I'm talking about iPhone. I'm talking about the App Store. The first day I had the iPhone, I looked at every single app there was on there. There were about 100 apps at that point. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah. I was there. That was like the first day of the
launch,
the app store. Okay. And now, there are like 1 million apps or more, right?
Sure.
And so now I see the same wave coming for Alexa Skills, especially with the amount of money Amazon has invested in having third parties that developers come in and make Alexa Skill.
Right. So
to me, the simplest way for me to explain this is an Alexa Skill is an app for your Alexa, just like an app for your iPhone. Okay.
Sure.
So, and if you remember your first iPhone, if you're one of the early people and you remember iPhone apps back in the day, they were terrible when it first started. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of them didn't do anything.
Lackluster at best.
Yeah. A lot of them, but all the big brands jumped on that bandwagon. And if they did nothing else but make an app that was a picture of their logo, heck yeah, they were on it. Okay. They were like, I have an app in the App Store. So what if it's crap? And I kind of encourage business owners and brands to do that today. I think we're seeing that same revolution. Okay. Even if it's not, this awesome app, I say you still make an Alexa Skill, and there are different ways of doing that. Okay. So there are a couple different types of Alexa Skills. So let's kind of, talk about that. One, there's something called a flash briefing, which is, every morning you're supposed to say, Alexa, give me my flash briefing. And it's kind of the news for the day.
Well, wait a minute. I think we have the Marketing Made Great podcast as a flash briefing. You mean people can actually include that in their daily flash briefing?
Oh, why, yes,
my
good man.
Oh my gosh, that could be amazing. Thank you. I'm sorry, that was a shameless plug.
Yeah, so make sure you subscribe to the Marketing Made Great podcast on your Alexa.
Great. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right, so that's one way, and that's for people who are putting out new content on a daily or weekly basis.
Sure.
Right? Okay.
Right.
But if you just want to have something that's more of a traditional skill that says, okay, Alexa, launch, and this is your company name here. So for example, let's say I own cork ornaments, by per chance. All right. Then I want to make a skill that talks about my business. Right. And there are a couple different ways to do this, but you really got to think through a voice first experience. Right. So there's that Echo Show. Okay. Not many people own that Echo Show.
Right.
So when you think about Echo Show, don't think screen first. Right. Think that most people are going to have a dot. Right. Because that is the lowest barrier to entry is $30 for a dot. It's $179 for a show.
Right.
Less people are going to have the $179 version.
They're over 200 now.
Oh, okay. They're over $200 now. Yeah. So most people are going to start with a $30 dot to get their feet wet. Right. Okay. So think about how are you going to make this a quote unquote frictionless experience for somebody with a dot.
Okay.
And
great starting point.
Yeah. And really. And think about why you're doing this and what you want to get out of this, right? What's your goal? What's your strategy here? If you're goal or strategy is I just want to be on every single platform, then by golly, just get yourself out there just so you can say in your in your propaganda, in your advertising, that you are on Alexa. That way you're showing your clients that you're innovative, that you're cutting edge, right? If if nothing else, go ahead and do that. And there's so many ways of getting a skill on Alexa through flash briefing or a traditional skill. So for people who can't code, I would recommend, and they just launched this a few months ago, Blueprints. So go to your web browser, type in blueprints.alexa.com. Okay. And you can get started creating a skill. Now it's really basic. It's 5 questions and 5 answers about your company.
Well, that's interesting.
But wouldn't that be great to say you're out there on Alexa and people could ask 5 questions about your company and you put in those answers yourself because who knows your company better than you?
Wow. That's pretty amazing.
Right? Yeah. So if nothing else,
wait a minute.
do that, and that's free. I mean, that's basically, you don't have to pay money. I think, iOS, you had to pay $100 to get on that platform or something like that. You don't have to pay a single cent to do that blueprint yourself.
But I have to know all this coding and everything.
No. So you don't have to hire a coder. You can do this on your own. If you can operate a website, if you can fill out a text form on a website, you can do this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So why not?
That's a huge advantage.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a great place to get started.
Yeah, that's a great place to get started. Yeah, just to get your feet wet, just to see, hey, how does it work? What's that experience like? I would recommend doing that.
Sure.
Yeah, and then you could move on to, and this still does not require any coding, you could make a trivia skill about your favorite topic. And for students studying for questions, I've seen that as there's somebody contacted me about the nurse practitioner's exam. And
oh my gosh.
And imagine, if you are that business where you're selling the nurse practitioner exam, you could sell on the side, hey, practice with Alexa.
Oh my gosh. Stop, you're giving away too many good ideas here. Wow, that's amazing.
And then and why not people practice your test? So you can do it and it only works on your Alexa, or you can submit it to Amazon and have it work on everybody's Alexa.
Sure.
Why not do that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I see that as another interesting use case for Alexa, is that quiz property, for students studying for exams.
Sure.
And there are a lot of oral exams now where you got to think on your feet. And, your friends are tired of practicing with you.
Right.
Why not have Alexa practice with you?
She never gets tired.
She goes on and on and on and on. Yeah, that was a great marketing campaign, right? The Energizer Bunny.
Sure.
Energizer Bunny.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I understand.
Yeah.
So as we get a little bit more in depth with our practical applications of voice, at some point we're going to have to cross over and get a coder or hire a company such as yourself as your company to basically develop a full-blown Alexa skill then, right?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up on Marketing Made Great. Yes. So Blueprints is a great way of getting your feet wet, and I encourage everybody to do that for free. And then when you see the need as we're riding this wave here and you want to do something more complex, unfortunately, yes, you will have to either hire a coder or, hire out a consulting company such as Alexa Dev Group, alexadevgroup.com, that has that expertise in, creating what you really want it to do. If really what you want to get to is you probably have a set of APIs that you're pulling today for your product.
Right.
And you're probably doing that on your website today. And you want to have somebody not just code the exact same thing, because what you're coding for today on your website with your APIs is a very visual experience. You've got to turn that into a voice-only experience. You want somebody to come in and say, okay, this worked great on your website. You could show 20 different appointment times that are available, but it's going to be pretty boring when Alexa goes, you can book an appointment at 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. or 3:30 p.m. and she just goes on and on forever.
Sure.
You wanna kind of think through that script before you. So I wouldn't recommend hiring a coder. I'd really recommend coming in with a consultant, a voice first consultant who can redesign the script for a voice first experience, whether that be Alexa or Google Home. You can also write these skills. They're called Google Actions for Google Home, and
Okay.
and some people are interested in doing that as well.
Okay.
Google Home is a slightly smaller market share, even though they are growing market share, but they're not pushing their apps as much as Alexa is. Right. They're really focusing in on smart home and doing actual Google searches.
Okay. All right. So, if I'm a company, is there a way for that Google search from voice to bring up my company or name?
Good luck with that. Are you? SEO is something that that I think that you talk about a lot. That we talk about a lot on marketers, and it's think about the SEO game, but like 10 times harder. Okay, this is what you're getting into with voice. So the algorithm changes every day, just like what you see with the SEO algorithm.
I understood that. I understand that. But you shared a little secret.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
And I don't know if I should share that with everybody.
No. I'm going to share the secret.
Okay.
So I've done. I'm just kind of holding back just because, it might change tomorrow. Okay. But what I have figured out by just doing a ton of searches on my own on both Google Home and Alexa, the number one search result for any company, any result, and this works great if you're asking for a famous person or big company, is they do a Wikipedia search.
Oh boy!
Is that was the secret?
Yes.
That we talked about off air. Yes.
Yeah. So we should maybe get a Wikipedia page if we can, right?
Wikipedia is hard to get on
that page. I'm just saying, but shouldn't it be something we ought to pursue at this early stage, at least?
So, good luck getting a Wikipedia page. Okay. I've tried getting a Wikipedia page for a real company, and that was not easy.
Sure.
So you want to look at Wikipedia searches is number one. Right. The other thing, if you're looking for a local business, sometimes it pulls a Yelp search. Sometimes it just says, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
But, there was an article that just came out. I saw it on my LinkedIn feed today. Mm-hmm. And this is true. I have verified this with Amazon, or, one of the speeches that they gave in person is Amazon is listening to what you are asking it and looking at all the responses where it said, I don't know what you're talking about. And they are filtering through that to figure out what the top things that people are asking for that they are unable to answer today.
So they're learning.
Yeah, but there is machine learning, but there's also human learning. They're calculating it up, but then an actual human looks at the top 10 or 100 or million things that they're not able to answer today. So I've been told by Amazon, and this is like during a speech or something that by an actual Amazon employee, that they said a while back ago they noticed everybody was asking Alexa how to cook an egg, and at that point they had nothing for cooking an egg, and it just said, I don't know how to cook an egg, or it just said, I don't know that. Okay. This is early stages of Alexa.
That, but still, okay.
But she did not know how to cook an egg. Okay. So because so many people asked about this egg thing, they pulled a developer off of whatever project he was on so that he could code Alexa to answer the question how to cook an egg, specifically the egg, not allrecipes.com.
Right, sure.
And I think that kind of led them to a partnership with allrecipes.com. I think that is something that they push today. But no. They pulled a developer to look up how to cook an egg, get the best response, and then code it into Alexa manually.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's awesome.
So the algorithm changes every day.
Well, I understand, but to me, that's some validation that voice is where things are ultimately heading, because it makes it friction free, especially where you're sitting there in the kitchen in the morning and I want to know how to cook an egg, and I don't necessarily want to read a recipe or go figure it out myself. Just I'm in the kitchen and say, Alexa, how do I cook an egg? Tells me the details. I
had no idea. That was one of the top things that people asked.
Sure.
But apparently that's really important, how to cook an egg. But now she knows the answer. Good job, Alexa.
Somebody had to code that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, again, we can make this as complicated or as simple as possible. I want to go back to the Running Clothes app because, I've looked at it quite extensively. And it intrigues me as to where the future of this could be. I mean, could you go from a freemium to a premium model or add-ons, or I mean, I don't know. I don't know what your goal is with this, but let's take an Alexa skill in general, whatever it may be. Can you start with free and go to that level?
Ooh, that's a great question. And actually, Amazon contacted me, and we had a meeting day before yesterday.
Okay.
I had another sit down with another person with an Amazon.com email address.
Okay.
And they wanted to talk to me about monetizing the running clothes skill specifically.
Okay.
And they gave me some feedback on things that I could do to monetize running clothes.
All right.
Yeah. So,
not that you would want to do that. I understand.
Well, I've already put it out there that I'm not planning on monetizing running clothes. Got money on my brain now. I've already put it out there. I'm not planning to monetize running clothes. What I would like to do with running clothes is I would like a brand to come in and ask me to recommend their brand of clothing, and right. we could see this, going on for several brands. Okay. Right. And then other brands could recommend the clothes that's their sport or whatever. Sure. Right.
Sure.
But they did have some interesting feedback for me on, what they're looking for in terms of, premium content. So just short answer is, okay, you have an Alexa skill. You can enable any skill for free in the entire store today.
Okay.
Okay. Right. And at minimum, the skill has to at least give you a trial or some sort of free taste of the skill.
Sure.
Then if you would like, you can either do a subscription model, X dollars per month.
Right.
Okay. To get the premium content, or a one-time, I will unlock a library of content, for you. Okay.
All right.
So actually, the cork ornaments skill, that was one of the first what they call ISP in-skill purchase skills released in their store.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so for cork ornaments, if you enable that, you get a few projects that it suggests, some basic projects. And then if you pay 99 cents, and then I think there's some sort of discount if you are a Prime member or something like that, you for a one-time shot deal, you can unlock 10 different projects with the skill.
Wow.
Yeah, so and this revenue split right now is 70-30. The developer, the owner gets 70%, and Amazon takes 30%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Similar to what you see in iTunes and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they are trying to move to that sort of skills, as we saw in the App Store.
Sure.
We see a lot of apps that are either you can buy in the app or you can pay for the app. They just don't do you have to pay for the app up front. You get something.
Right. No, I understand. Yeah. So as this voice evolves, and I'm sure you're looking to the Alexa community, who are some of those Alexa skill people that you're either following, tracking, or looking for insight and the next big thing?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, I mean, I'm tracking the big brands, number one,
okay.
that have built skills. So Campbell's Soup was one of the first skills out there.
Okay.
They had a really interesting approach. They wanted to give out recipes on how to cook, that green bean casserole we make every Christmas, right? But they used it as a marketing funnel, because before you could get the recipes, they didn't want any money from you. They wanted your email address. So to unlock that skill, it sent something to your app, and then you typed in your email address, and you signed up to be on their Campbell's Soup email list.
How clever is that?
So this is Marketing Made Great podcast once again, so they just wanted to collect email addresses. That was the entire skill.
My goodness, that is too cool. That's great. I mean, like I said, again, it's a simple way to engage with a brand. And if you're going to give them your email address, you want to engage. You want
that. You want to get that content.
Right.
The content is free. They got that recipe down.
Right. Well, I understand, but you're engaging with the brand, and you want more from them.
They made it a very interesting experience, because not only did they give you that the recipes on their website.
Sure.
They also email it to you. That's why they needed your email address.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll
Wink, wink, nod, nod. Yeah. They're yes. Give us your email address so we can email that recipe to you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So that's one of the, that's something I'm really following is looking at what the brands are doing. Big budgets means their things can do, more things.
Sure.
And then there's this whole thing around kid skills. What is G-rated and what do you want to do with your kids? So I'm bringing this up because, one of our local companies is Kids 2, and they hired me last year to write their story time, their Baby Einstein story time app skill last year. It was on the Echo Show. That was really important to them.
Wow.
That it had the screens.
Right.
This is before APL came out, so it was super hard to do the screens
no doubt.
before like the official thing came out.
Sure.
So I did that, and it's kind of a choose your adventure. Where do you want to go with the characters in
Sure.
Baby Einstein?
Sure.
You could go to the backyard, or you could go under the sea, and it was a way for kids to engage in a G-rated manner with Alexa.
Oh, that's too cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the another thing that I love about you. Your creativity and the way you think is definitely different, and I love the insight that you share with our audience today on voice. So for you, if you had to pick two or some of the things that you're doing that challenge you on a regular basis, that keeps you sharp in your skills and things like that, and things you're reading, things you're looking at, what are some of those things that you're doing?
Oh, great question. So the other side of me that we haven't talked about is that I run a YouTube channel. I've got 16,000 subscribers on YouTube right now. And so I'm just naturally a very visual person.
Sure.
In doing these YouTube videos. So if you go on my YouTube channel, you'll see me set up a smart switch. You'll see me set up every switch and light bulb there is out there right now. And to me, that is, I would recommend, that's one of the big things is, teaching people how to set up their Alexa.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm that's like kind of the other side of Caroline right there.
Well, yes. Wait a minute. Don't you have a podcast too?
Yeah, well, I have a Caroline's marketing podcast that I just started. Yes. I love that. I
tell you what, you all need to subscribe. I've been listening to the past couple of episodes, and I got to tell you, it's pretty doggone good. So I would recommend highly that you subscribe to her podcast as well.
Thank you for that free commercial.
Oh, no problem. That's what it's all about. Caroline, I really want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be a part of the Marketing Made Great podcast. So if I wanted to get a hold of you to help me do my Alexa skill, how would I get a hold of you?
So for Alexa skills, go to alexadevgroup.com. That's our website.
All right.
If you want to contact me personally, I'm number one on SEO. So type into your Google Caroline Dunn.
Okay.
And my LinkedIn profile, my website will come up. That's I've been number one on SEO for Caroline Dunn for at least 5 years.
Okay, good. All right. So you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing, getting ranked. Okay, good. Caroline, thanks so much for taking your time. And again, what a great show. And look forward to talking to you very soon.
Thank you for having me, Mark.
You bet. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of the Marketing Made Great podcast. If you want more details about today's show and the resources mentioned, go to www.csmediagroup.com/podcast. Please be sure to send us your comments about the show and follow the link in the show notes to give us your suggestions for future show topics. With your help, we'll continue to only get better. Now, you can contact us directly with your topics at podcasttopics@csmediagroup.com as well if you'd like. Be sure right now to stop everything and subscribe to the show in iTunes or on your favorite podcast source so you never miss an episode of the Marketing Made Great podcast. While you're there, write us a positive review if you like the show. Also, we're going to ask that you spread the word to your friends about this podcast by visiting us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram with all your comments. Now, when you're posting, be sure to use our hashtag #MarketingMadeGreat when posting so we can add to the discussion online and all the social media platforms. Now, our show is produced in our studios located in Atlanta, Georgia's premier business accelerator, Atlanta Tech Park. I'm your host, Mark Traeger, and I want to thank you so much again for taking the time to listen to this week's episode of the Marketing Made Great podcast.
Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show.